Go. Hello, my friends. It's Tiffany, and welcome to Tuesday Night Live. This is the best night of the week for me. It's the most fun. I just get to get up here and talk to all of you about the things that I love, which is organizing stuff. So I'm so happy for all of you to jump on. Now, if you are watching, be sure and throw up a comment. Tell us where you're from. How long have you been following along? Were you here from the TT days? Did you survive the Crafter's Companion timeline, all of those good things? We just want to know what you're up to and yeah, all that fun stuff. And then I have some kind of cool stuff to talk about tonight. It's probably going to be kind of a shorter Tuesday Night Live. Okay, wait a minute. Let me backtrack. What I should say is, if you're new, welcome. If you have a question, this is your opportunity to ask it. And if you put something in the feed where you start with a bunch of question marks or the word question in all caps, then Katie King, who is in my ear and also watching the feed, will read those questions off to me and we will do our best to get them answered. If we don't get your question answered, you can always email Barb, B-A-R-B, at theorganizedoption.com and just put Tuesday question in the subject line. And then Barb will hang on to those and shoot them off to me. And so that if I don't get them answered tonight, we'll try to get them answered this week or next week during the live. Chances are, if you have a question, somebody else does too. So it's really helpful if you ask. We're probably answering it for more than just you, especially for people who don't get to watch live. So welcome, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Woo, woo. I almost put on something green today, but it wasn't a good match, right? I need something that's limey to match my apron here. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, enjoy some corned beef and some other goodies. So, and thanks for sharing your holiday with me. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We are talking about tag-along totes and tiny die cutting machines. So one of the great things about the tag-along tote line is that it works well for small die cutting machines. So if you have a small die cutting machine, and I have a couple of them here, but I don't by any means have all of them, I want to know what you have and what the dimensions are of it. And so when you're measuring it, if you give me the longest dimension, the widest dimension, and the tallest dimension, and what brand it is, that would be amazing. I will try to help you choose which tag-along tote might be best for yours. But then I'll have that information and I can put it on our website and we can share with other people so somebody else, again, has the same bag as you. So this is, or the same die cutter as you. So this is the tag-along tote number 2. No, number 1. Sorry, 5x7 kind of is the dimension. So there are 3 tag-along totes in case you don't know. 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is 5x7. Number 2 is 9x4-ish, which is kind of the slimline size. And number 3 is like 9x6, so a little bit more bigger, bulkier bag. Unique about these is that they zip up and down the side kind of in a weird way on both sides. They also have a little handle on the top. And that allows you to fold down this front and create kind of a little pocket here. So when you're working with something like your small dies, you have this little extra space to throw your tools, or in this case, right, the small folders that go with the tool that you're using. Now, this is the diamond press. The little tiny diamond press. Now, I know diamond press makes a bigger machine now called the Marquee. I don't have one. I do have a Gemini MIDI, which I think is a little bit similar, bigger, but to that. So when I ask about if you can please give me dimensions of machines you don't see here tonight, if you can go from here, the widest part, or all the way across to here, see the base is even wider. I need to know all of that. And then, of course, the height, and then yeah, and all that stuff so that we know. But this fits perfectly in here. And I want to show you something else. This is kind of the value of being here tonight. You have to put the handle up on this one. But then the little box on the side, the divider box that's included with the tag-along tote, it fits these folders perfectly. So it's a nice little storage spot for that. Now, You don't have to leave the divider box in there. And in this case, if you don't leave the divider box in, you can drop the handle down, move it forward, and now you have a bunch of space behind. Okay, what did I do with my little folders here? Here they are. You have a bunch of space behind your machine so that you can actually carry with you. These are the 5x7 pockets, right? And this is something else I want to share with you tonight, which I haven't really talked about too much, but I thought this would be a good night to do it. So you can see I've got 5 pockets in there. I could probably get 10. I got 5 more right here. Let's try putting those in. 10's going to be too many, but probably 7 or 8, right? But easy 5 in there. So now you've got your machine, and if you don't want to use this, you can still put the folders right there in the little gap in the front, right? So removing the box just allows you to add the pockets to the back. So if you want to carry, especially if you're going somewhere, you're working on a particular project, carrying those pockets in there is going to be really helpful, really easy, and really kind of condense down what you're doing. Now, this is what I want to show you about the pockets. So, sorry. So these are the 5x7 pockets. One of the great things about the pocket and having this flap is that you no longer have to have a magnet with your dies. You still can use a magnet with your dies, but you don't have to. So I've got these stamps. These dies are bigger, right? This die is huge, both of these, right? Neither of those actually need a magnet because they're so big and so flat. So keep in mind that as you're adding to your collection of dies, you could put your stamps in and all the dies in. But because you have the flap, unless there's a tiny piece there, it's going to be really easy to just put the dies in. This one has the label, so I know what it looks like. But when we talk about magnets, let me grab one over here, make sure I'm giving the right information. So this magnet sheet weighs 2 ounces, right? That doesn't seem like very much. But when you think like about one of these without a machine in it can hold up to 20 pockets. Well, if you put 20 pockets and each one has a magnet, you have added 40 ounces, 2.5 pounds, 16 ounces is a pound, right? My math is here. So 2.5 pounds of weight to whatever it is that you are toting around or moving around. So think about when you're using those pockets that you don't actually need to have a magnet in there, right? In this one, the magnet, I left the magnet in because they're all these tiny little pieces, okay? But with bigger magnets, you don't need to, bigger dies, you don't necessarily need that magnet. And the other option is this stamp set only has this tiny amount of dies. So I just cut the piece of magnet small enough to hold those dies, put it in there. I have the instructions in the back, the stamps, and then the dies as well, all in one pocket. So it makes it really simple, really easy. And you are eliminating, I mean, it doesn't seem 2 ounces. It doesn't seem like that much weight. But if you think about the hundreds of dies that you have, 2 ounces per die, if you're using the bigger magnet, and I mean, it is a ton of weight. So just another little kind of side tip tonight about using your pockets with this, but also looking at that weight of the magnet and knowing that you don't always have to have a magnet at all. Sometimes you can just use a piece of a magnet to hold a small collection of dies or little pieces of dies together, but you still don't need all that weight. And not to mention the fact that not only is it heavy, but, well, here, I'll show them to you a little bit bigger. Not only is it heavy, they're also not that great for the environment. So one of the reasons magnets, you know, there's a lot to disposing of magnets, I guess. So here's the bigger pocket, right? So those great big dies in there, you can barely see them. There you go. A big set of dies, right? This is the planner die, and it came stuck on this card. It's not a magnet in there. It's the card that it came on, and I just keep re-putting them down on the adhesive. But there's another example where I just used a small piece of magnet in there, but I have the big dies. So these are the little things that go at the top of this tag, right? And I just put them on a small piece of magnet. This one didn't need magnet at all, but I have the instructions and everything else in there. This even actually has like a plastic folding template that you cut out. So that's all in there as well. But, you know, when you start to add things, there's another one where I just used a small piece of magnet. When you start to add things, you really are adding that weight. So if you're trying to lighten your load a little bit, think about, well, maybe I don't need to have magnets in every single pocket, right? Especially if you're using our new pockets that have the flap so that things stay in. If you have open pockets, you definitely want to have magnets, little security issue, but you've got that flap. You don't need the magnets in all things. Okay, this is the Gemini Mini. I try to put a piece of paper underneath these so they don't stick to the plastic boxes, but this is the number 2. And as you can see, it fits right in there. And again, the plates or the folders that go with it also fit in there. But again, you could pull this out and then you could put the longer, like the 9x4 pockets in there, the slimline pockets. Now, we don't make that with a flap on it, but we have made them as TT and other companies make them. So if you're using a lot of slimline, that 9x4 pocket will also fit in here. This little guy, though, will also fit into the number 1, right? So a little bit different fit. So he will still fit in here, put the handle up, and you can still tuck in your folders right in the back there. Just don't have the box, but it will still fit in there. So whether you're using, you can use either one, the 9x4, the number 1 or the number 2 for the Gemini Mini. All right. I'm trying not to make as big a mess as I usually make. I mean, you could use it for this one too, but it's, you can see there's so much extra space in there. It's kind of a waste. I wonder if you didn't have the box though. I mean, I don't know why you would need to do this, but you put 2 of them in? Sure. Yeah, if you have both of these machines, can you zip that up? Sure. So if you have both of these machines and for some reason you wanted to take them both, you know, for those of you who watch all the time, right, this is what happens. Like I get in my little head and I'm like, oh, what about this? You could do this. You could put those in the front. You could also put these standing up in the back or these in the front. So the Mini fits, but both of these fit in the 9x4. The Mini, they both fit on in the 5x7. This one fits the Mini in the 9x4 with the little box, the little divider box that goes inside it. Okay, so let's look at something that's a little bit bigger, and this is a little bit kind of weird, but this is the Midi, which is the next size up. Now, this may be a similar size to the next one that Diamond Press makes, the Marquee. I don't have a Marquee, but if someone does and you can give me the actual dimensions on it, that would be amazing. I know there's dimensions on the websites, but I'm never sure if it's taking into account the handle and the rubber base. Like, is that the full measurement? You know, same thing with the height. Is it the full height, the full depth, all those things? So this is the Midi alone. Now, I could put some of the plates for the Midi in here as well. I don't know why I didn't. Let me grab some really quick. But in order to fit it in there, I had to take the box out, right? So the box and the inner divider box, you cannot use that when you're carrying the Midi. It doesn't fit inside the box. So, but it still works great. Like when you put it in there, again with the suction cups. And you do have to leave the handle up. Oh, and you totally can put the, you could probably put, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 of the shims, folders, those things in there. But when you zip this up, you have to leave the handle out. So carry it easily, right? This, but you got that handle poking out. So if you don't keep your handle this on all the time, then it would tuck in. It's just this part that's the problem. So with that one. Okay, and then last but not least, for small machines that I have available is, of course, one you've seen already. This is the Spellbinder Scout in the 9x4, the number 2 Tagalong tote. Now, did I mention all the Tagalong totes are on sale for 15% off this week on the website? It's a discount at checkout. So if you put it in your cart when you go to checkout, you'll see the discount there. I think there's a little bubble on the item, but it doesn't actually show the discounted price till you get to the cart. But so the Spellbinder Scout, perfect fit here. You can leave the box in, drop the handle into the box, and you can even put your tools here. And I don't know if you didn't notice, this goes right up on top. So those are all the cutting platforms, right? Lots of them in there, and they just ride right on top of the machine. And when you, even the embossing folders, they ride right on top of the machine, and when you open it up, it's just going to fold straight down. So you can keep all your little accessories here. Maybe you want to carry, again, a pocket or two of dies. These are still in the package, but you could put a pocket or two of dies. And I would say that's probably going to be the 5x7 pocket, maybe in there. Let's see if that will fit, the 5x7 pocket behind the machine. No, you'd have to take out the box, but then you could use the 5x7 pockets next to the machine. All right, my friends. Okay, Katie, do you have any questions for me? All right, what do you got? Okay. 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 Okay, so Katie's given me the information on the marquee, and it is 9.5 inches wide. Let's check it out here. So it would definitely fit inside this. It's 6 1/4 inches high. It's going to be a tight fit. So let's check this one. Okay, so this is the number 2. This is the number 3. And this one fits perfectly if you have the Spellbinders Platinum 6. This box size or this bag size is a perfect size for Platinum 6 platforms, cutting plates, and that type of thing. They're gonna fit really nicely in here. Okay, it's 9 1/2 wide. Yikes, we might not be able to fit that. Okay, so this one is exactly 9 1/2. If it's 9 1/2, it'll drop in 9 1/2. It is, I believe, 4 inches. 4 inches, definitely tall enough. So the number 3 Tagalong tote, and this is the one that works with the 9x6 pockets as well. It is the exact dimensions to fit the marquee. You know what? Let's measure this and see. So when she's giving us the dimensions, maybe you could clarify, Katie, is that it might actually be, this might be part of that, right? So let's see. Yeah, so this is 9 1/2 exactly, and we know it fits in there. Yeah, so if it's the same size as this, it would fit. Let me get the width here. In the number 3, if that doesn't include the handle. So this one is actually closer to like 4, a little more than 4 1/4. So the 4 inches is going to be fine. So yeah, I think the marquee is smaller like this. So the handle would be here. So then I think it's the number 3 is going to be the perfect bag for that one as well. Perfect. Okay, so the marquee belongs in the Tagalong tote number 3. 1, 2, 3. It'll fit in that one. The Empress is another one, the mini Empress. If somebody out there has one of those and can confirm the size of that, I did look at that on the website, but I was a little bit nervous about the dimensions as far as saying which bag it would fit in. So if any of you have the Anna Griffin Mini Empress cutter and you can give us your actual dimensions on that, that would be amazing. All right, Katie, you got anything else for me? You know what? I have gotten quite, so Katie's asking about the sizzle. Next time Katie's on, she's going to be on, so you guys all get to see her, and then I don't have to remember to read back questions, which I'm not good about. The Sizzix Big Shot Plus, I don't have anything that'll fit any of those bags right now. That doesn't mean that we won't have something later, but all of the Tagalong totes are too small. And then even like our biggest zip and go bag, like the Kirsten, is too small as well. So it's definitely something that's on our radar, though, because even Spellbinders makes the Platinum 6. That doesn't fit in any of the bags that we have either. So we're looking at something for them as well. So definitely on the radar, but I don't have anything for any of the big machines just yet. But that does present another question, if you guys can provide the answers to. If you type the word answer in all caps. If you own the old Totally Tiffany Lois or Cindy tote and you have one of those machines, does that machine fit comfortably, or have you tried using it in the Lois or Cindy tote? I know ideally the tote's a lot taller, so that's not the perfect solution, but just so I can kind of get my head around like what kind of space that would take. And maybe could I put something that you could drop your machine in and then put something on top of the machine so that you would have all that space above the machine, easy access to other stuff. So if you've ever carried your Big Shot or a similar machine in your Totally Tiffany Lois or Cindy tote, please let me know how that worked out. All right, Katie, anything else? Yeah, so Katie's saying the Grand Marquis is 15 inches long. So again, that is going to be too big. That's going to be too big for the Lois or Cindy tote too. It might be 15 inches long with the handle, which means it's closer to 12. So it would probably drop in there, handle up. But yeah, if you've ever used that, if you're watching and you've ever carried your cutter in one of those, let me know. I'd love to hear about that. So you're welcome to ask other questions too. So I'm happy to answer other questions about things, but yeah. All right, Katie, what else? The Cuttlebug. People are asking about the Cuttlebug. I think that's a smaller one, and it might fit in one of our bags, but I don't know. So again, if you can give us some kind of dimensions on that, then I would be happy to let you know to answer that. And I can, I'm going to do a blog post as well. So even if you have a machine, I'm going to put Big Shot just so I can address it in the blog post, where I take pictures of most of these that I have, or like internet pictures, and put them there so you can see, yeah, this is my machine and it will fit in one of those Tagalong totes. So yeah, any machine that you have, we're happy to answer or try to answer that question, and I will follow up with a blog post on it. All right, anything else, Katie? Eight inches long, 5 inches tall, probably 4 inches deep. They kind of tend to be that. So if you have the Mini Empress, okay. So 8 inches long, I think this one. So the number 3 is just a hair over, the interior box is just a hair over 9.5. The Empress is 8, so that would tuck in there fine. It's 5 inches tall, not a problem. 4 inches wide, not a problem. So same with this one, though. You could easily do, this is 10 inches. Yeah, I was going to say the box might still work, but it won't. This one comes with the box too, right? They all include the divider box, but so yeah, so either one of these would work. It's just going to depend on if you want a little extra space to put some more stuff in. So either the 2 or the 3. And then what else are you carrying? If you can put in the feed, like what other things besides, obviously, right, we're carrying, you know, dyes and stuff. But again, another, you know, these the pockets, if you've got that extra room and you are carrying things like embellishments or ephemera or whatever, you'll be able to tuck those in there too. Obviously, there are certain tools that you want to carry with you. So let me know if there's something else you want to have with your dye machine so I can address that as well. And also I need to remind all of you that we do pick a winner every Tuesday night. There's $25 gift certificate we give away every night. So, and the way that you get entered to win that is by commenting in the feed. So if you don't want to tell us about your die cutting machine, you can just say hi, how long you've been around, all that kind of stuff. But get your comment in the feed so that you will definitely have an opportunity to win. And of course, like, subscribe, ring the bell, all those things so that you're sure you know what's going on whenever we're posting something new. All right, what else, Katie? Okay, so the Empress Elite, another big one, probably would fit in the lowest or Cindy, 13.5 inches long. But definitely, we'll definitely take a look at the bigger machines and see what we can come up with. I know each of the manufacturers creates their own bag for their machines. I know sometimes they're really expensive and maybe they're not multifunction, or maybe you just don't like the way that they look or any of those things. But if you do have a bag that came with your machine, or maybe you didn't buy the bag that came with the machine as an accessory, I'd love to know what you love about the bag you have, or why you didn't buy the one that the individual manufacturer made. So if you can throw that in the comments, that would be great as well. All right, Miss Katie, next. No. So, which is, I guess, another reason about the smaller machines. They're not. Even this one. So the bags are double stitched. They have 2 layers of fabric. They have double stitching everywhere, and they also have the box on the inside. So the box on the inside displaces weight more evenly. But in terms of the weight of the machines in the bags, it's not a problem at all. I mean, they really are designed to carry much more weight than you would ever put in them, just for that reason, so that they don't so they don't get damaged. And I'm not sure if I'm just answering the questions and you don't know them. Someone asked, will the bags support the weight of these machines? And that was the answer, yes. Sorry, I will try to be better about repeating. And we'll get Katie on so she can just read the question, and then you guys can, I don't have to. Sorry about that. I know it's annoying. All right. Anything else, my friend Katie? Would they fit label printer cartridges? You could definitely carry your label printer. Let's see. Now, maybe you're talking about like a portable printer, like a photography printer versus like a label printer. And yes, I think actually that Stephanie does carry her photo printer in one of the bags. I don't remember which one it was. Label maker, easy peasy in here. This is probably actually too big for it. I mean, you could put it in there and fit the label cartridges in there, but it's just kind of a waste of space. I would look at like the 5x7. What would I look at? The 5x7 buddy bag, the Karen buddy bag, which is a little more smaller and compact if you're doing something like this. I'm pretty sure if you're talking about a photo printer, though, and the cartridges, Stephanie has hers in one of these, and I don't know which one it is, but I will address that. And it probably matters which photo printer you have. So and all the dimensions are on the website. So you could go on the website and it'll tell you how big each of these are. So when you have that printer in front of you, you could measure it and then know which bag is going to be right. All right. What else we got, sister? The Epson Picture Mate would fit in this is the question. This is the number 2. The number 2 is a little over 10 inches long, almost 10 and a half inches. So it would fit lengthwise. I don't know what the depth and the height are on it, but obviously, I mean, you got a little more than 4 inches, and in terms of height, you've got a little less than 6. So as long as it fits, that might be the one Stephanie has also, but there would be extra room probably in the number 2, the 9x4, for that Epson printer. All right. Which tote would I recommend for dies and stamps? It totally depends on which pocket sizes you are using. So all 3 of these, so this one works with 9x4 pockets, which we don't make. We did make them as in the Totally Tiffany brand, so you may have them. So the 9x4 is designed around 9x4. That's a slim line size pocket. So that's the number 2. The number 1 is around the 5x7 pocket, right? So, well, here, this one's already all loaded up. And again, okay, so that's a good, I have the 9x6 too, but so the 5x7 works with our 5x7 pocket. If you are taking dies and stamps with you to an event, you are already, as a crafter, carrying so much weight. So really take a look at what you're carrying with you, right? So no magnet here. No magnet needed here. You've got the locking tab. So unless you have little tiny dies, you don't have to even worry about things coming out when they're tipped upside down. There, one tiny die, right? I had to shake it. This little piece, right? That's it. Now the little blue stars are coming out of it. They're stuck at that one. But so this, if you have little tiny things, lots of them, like I said, use a magnet. But you don't need a magnet when your dies are bigger, right? It's just going to add so much weight. I mean, and especially like this, you almost don't even need a pocket for this, except that it's sharp, right? And you want to protect it. And I also kept that insert with it. So if you are traveling to an event, then using the pockets, and especially if you're taking embellishments with you, right? Like, you know what you're going to take. You want to keep it separate. You want to make a plan. These are the clear pockets that you use for either to create flip flaps, or sometimes people use them to put baby hair and little mementos, teeth, and that kind of thing in. So the number 1 works with 5x7. The number 3 works with the 9x6 pockets. So that's the 9x6, right? Big die sets, right? There's one where I just put a little piece of the magnet in again. Also, if you're taking your Platinum 6 and you're looking for a way to transport your Platinum 6 plates, cutting platforms, that's also going to fit in the number 3, the 9x6. So I have these kind of out of order, but that's what you've got. 1 is 5x7, 2 9x4 slimline size, number 3 9x6. So bigger dies in that one. All right, Miss Katie, anything else? The Memory Keeper's Cinch. Now, I have the mini cinch. I don't have the big cinch. The mini cinch, I think this actually fits really great in the Create Case number 4. I think there's pictures on the website. But at 12 inches long, none of these three are going to fit in there. It might work. It's 12 inches long, but give me the dimensions again for that, Katie. The big cinch. 12 by 9 by 5. What fits 12 by 9 by 5? Yeah, probably nothing. 12 by 9. It would definitely fit in the Create Case number 1. That's the biggest one. Yeah, 12 by 9 by 5. Yeah, it would fit great in there actually. And then you would have space at the top of it. Here I am. It's not going to make a mess. So if you have the big cinch, 12 by 9 by 5 with the big cinch, this is the, we're going to put it this way so the handle's on the top. This is the #1 Create-A case. And so it is 13 by 18. So you're going to put that 12 by 9 by 5 deep. That's going to push this out. But and then maybe fill the rest of it with either other Create-A case bags, especially if you have, right, you have all the cinch like wires, the spiral things. So those would fit in one of the other bags, and you could pack it both together in this. So yeah, so this is the #1, and I have it loaded. I'm trying to get a good camera angle there. I have it loaded up with the 4-inch basic boxes that are just coming out March 31st, so 2 weeks from today. We will have the 4-inch basic boxes out, and those fit into the #1. I was going to say you could put that cinch in there and then fill the top with boxes for other supplies, but I think it's great if you can keep your cinch and the coils that go with it in one of the other bags, so everything's together in one bag. But this would be a good option for that. All right, Katie, what do you got? What else? Sure, I'll take other questions. Will we have any of the stadium-style organizers coming back? We don't have a confirmed date on that. They are kind of in our roadhouse or our road map. So this is good. So the stadium-style organizers we did held things like re-inkers and glitter and markers, and we had all these different ones if you're not familiar. And they were made out of white wood. And the problem with them was that they were big, but not heavy. And so shipping them was very expensive. So my idea for this new kind of design of them is to do them all in clear acrylic, and they'll come flat, and then you will screw them together. So if you like that idea, put something in the comments like, yes, I love that idea. And what kind of sizes? So the previous size were too wide for the IKEA Calyx or other cube style storage. And I think if I was going to do them again, I would do them the right width to go into that IKEA cube storage, and or also to drop into your craft cart. So yes, they're definitely in the mix of ideas of things that we will bring forward, but we don't have any committed sort of timeline for them. All right, another question, Katie. Will we be making the inserts for the old Katie Buddy bag? Katie was a 9x6 vertical instead of horizontal. Probably not. We don't have any 9x6 horizontal things on the drawing board at the moment. Definitely, if we did come back out with a Katie or something similar, then we would have those pockets that would fit that. But at this point, we do not. Now, if you are looking for old Totally Tiffany stuff, scrapbook.com bought all the old Totally Tiffany inventory. And so if anybody is going to have those 9x6 pockets, it is going to be that are vertical. It is going to probably be scrapbook.com. So I would look there to see what they might have if you're looking for the old ones. All right, next. Okay, just while Katie gets the next question, I just want to remind you, you can't win if you don't comment. So if you haven't commented in the feed, you can say anything you want. You can just say hi. You can tell us what the weather's like where you are, any of those kind of things. But you can't win if you don't comment, so make sure you get a comment. All right, Katie, next question. Are we going to bring back album cases? I don't know. I love those. I have a whole bunch of them right here, right below. Let me see if there's an empty one. These are all heavy. But if you're unfamiliar, this is the album case, the old TT album case. This one, I think, has 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 albums in it, right? These are albums in process, but also they were a great way to store albums. If you love this idea, these came in 2 sizes because the 3-ring albums were longer. This is the 3-ring album one. I don't have the album in there right now, but these were longer, but they were great for storage or for planning, keeping those albums together while you were working on them. So if you would like to see the album. Now, here's another problem with these. I'll get this down. They also are big and flat. And so we run into this problem with shipping. I don't know how many of you know anything about shipping, but there's this thing in shipping called dimensional weight. So even though something is very lightweight, if it is longer than 18 inches, which those were, in one direction, you pay what is called dimensional weight. So rather just paying for 12 ounces of weight, which that box probably weighs, we have to pay for maybe it's 1.5 pounds. So instead of that going to you for, $6 or $7, now it's going to you for $12 or $15. And that really becomes a problem because when I'm selling you something that's $9 or $10 and then the shipping on the one item is $12 or $15, it's very hard for all of us, myself included, to say, oh, that's worth that. So if we did those, and we had the big ones as well, the 12 by 18 ones, if we did those again, they would probably come in multiples. Like it's a pack of 3 of those. So if you like that idea, getting 3 album storage boxes, and what would you pay for them? I think they probably, if I remember correctly, they were probably, I don't know, I guess $9 or $10 a piece. So you'd get 3 of them for $24.99 or $29.99, and then shipping on top of that. But the shipping would be less. It would feel like less because the value is more. So if you love that idea and you think you could use those, what would you pay for them? And understanding the shipping issues, would you be interested in buying 3 at a time? All right, Katie, next. What would I recommend for marker storage and colored pencil storage? I would absolutely recommend the Kimberly bag. And it's right here. So I will show you if you haven't seen it. So this is the Kimberly Zip and Go bag. When you open Kimberly up, her lid folds all the way back, and you have access to all of these markers, pencils, small tools. She will hold, there's up to 16, so those are Olo, probably a few more Copic than that, and a lot more of this type, right? But again, you can store her flat like this, and then you are keeping those double tip markers flat. You could also store her flat like this and keep the double tip markers flat as well. So the Kimberly has 6 boxes in the bottom, and that's why each of those, I'm going to share something else with you that's so cool about this. So that's why everything stands up. So if I pull half of these markers out or more, all the markers are still going to be standing up because that small box keeps everything upright, right? So I want to show you something else that I love about this. If you are familiar with our creative connector, one of the things I love about these boxes in the Kimberly is that if you were working on something, right, and you wanted everything to be along your desktop like this, but there's a risk when you pull something out of a tall, skinny box that it's going to tip over, right? So if you take your creative connector tool, because you want your boxes to be out while you're working, and you connect those boxes together, then they are going to stay up, right, as you pull things in and out of them. And you can make them go in any shape you want. So if you wanted to line a corner of your desk like this, you can do that. And then if you're going to travel with them, they just come apart and you take the connector off and put them right back into your Kimberly bag and you are out the door with them. So really, I love that ability to pull it out, set it up where you need it. Like maybe you have to fit it all into a corner. This bag maybe doesn't fit on your workspace, but if you stretched all of these out while you were working, it would fit perfectly. So you're able to take them out of the bag if you need to, and then pop them back in so that you can travel with them easily. So really kind of a multi-purpose little project bag there. So if you aren't using the Creative Connector, you know, our 1.5-inch basic boxes are coming in individual sizes. Again, 2 weeks from today. The 4-inch high basic boxes, 2 weeks from today. And the 3-inch basic boxes are already available on our website. So if you haven't already started using basic boxes, you're going to love them. All right, Katie, what else have you got? Does the Kimberly hold Spectrum Noir? Probably not tri-blends, if that's the question. Let me go. Let me see if I even have a tri-blend over here. If I do, I'll try it. The regular Spectrum Noir, like and Colorista, there's crazy things happening here. They will fit the tri-blend. I'm looking in my random box of markers to use for dimensionalizing things. No, I do not have that. So the original Spectrum and the original Colorista, they will fit. But I think the tri-blend's too tall. If someone has a tri-blend and they can tell me the height of it, then I will measure. So these markers, these are Stampin' Up! Markers. They fit in there. But I think, and I will tell you, so you could measure your tri-blends if you wanted to. These are 6 3/4 inches, and they pretty much max out at 6 3/4 inches. So if the tri-blend is 6 3/4 or smaller, yes. If it is not, no. And I don't think I have a bag that will fit those right now. The Faylene will. She doesn't have any dividers inside her. So if you have a lot of tri-blend markers, the Faylene Zip and Go bag will work to hold those straight up and down, but you'd really want to fill it up so it's easy to pull things in and out of. And then, yeah, that's probably the best option. But again, now, shut the front door. What am I thinking? What you could do, though, is so this is Faylene. I always want to sing when I say Faylene, Faylene, Faylene. Okay, so this is Faylene. She is tall, but you probably could take a couple of boxes in the 4-inch box collection, which is coming out. I'm going to grab some over here because we have this one. That might be an option. That's cute. That's a 3-inch. And then we also have, and where are they? I don't have many of them. So you guys can just hear me prowling around over here in my studio. Okay, so this is the one that's coming in the 4-inch box. This is called the Tall Stuff 4-inch box. So you could, I need another one. Shoot. You could clip 2 of those together. Now, they're not going to clip onto the Faylene because she's so tall. But if you clipped 2 of these together, oh, I love this. This is so much fun. You guys probably don't think it's as much fun as I do, but this is why I love Tuesday nights. Okay, so this is a 4-inch box. It's called the Tall Stuff. This is coming April 1st. They come in packs of 3. They're kind of fat to push into the Faline. But if you put those in there like that, then you could create, even if you put it this way, and when you put the markers in there, it would kind of create, you put 3 of them across this way, it would create spacers and it would hold your markers up. So yeah, if you want to use a Faline for your tri-blends and you don't want to have to keep it plumb full because otherwise they're going to tip over in there, then you're going to add, this is a 4.75. It's going to take up too much space and not be efficient. This little guy, same. It's going to be the same issue as this. So right here, the tall stuff box inside the Faline, 2 of them together is going to create some separation. So it'll keep your markers standing up if you want to use Faline. Whew, that was a long answer. All right, Katie, what else? What else have you got? Yeah, their tri-blends are just under 8 inches long, so you are going to have to go Faline on those right now. We used Faline for lots of those before also. They're going to stick up the top a bit, yeah. So, yes, Faline, Faline. All right, anything else, Katie? The Tagalong tote, the question is, do the Tagalong totes come with any inserts? And the answer is no, they do not. The Tagalong totes come with 1 divider box that fits inside. And you can, again, anchor that divider box in any location on the inside using your, I just held that up, but you have no idea what it is. This is my pen pouch, and it has my creative connector inside it. So no, they don't come with. Our warehouse tries to ship things the next business day. So if you ordered tonight, what is today? Tuesday. There's a good chance it would ship Wednesday, as long as it meets, I don't know where you are in the world. They're in Illinois. They're going to meet their cutoff time. Okay, New Jersey. So there's a good chance it would ship tomorrow. Definitely it would ship the next day. You're in New Jersey. They're in Illinois. It's probably only 1 day shipping, but maybe 2. So I would say if it shipped out Thursday, you probably would have it Saturday. Maybe sooner, and maybe not till Monday. So I don't know when you need it, but yeah, there's a little, if it makes the Wednesday cut shipment, so not only does it have to be there and they have to pack it, it has to be ready to go by the time the pickup comes. I don't know what time that is at the warehouse, but yeah, but you're not far. One of the reasons we chose Illinois for our warehouse is because everything's just 2 days away, right? So before we were in Seattle, and if you were in Florida, that was a 5 to 7 day shipping. Well, putting it in the middle makes it just, well, some places are 3 days, just depends what your zip code is, but generally they're just 2 days out. So, all right, but did I say no? The pockets are not included. Doesn't include pockets, just the divider box. All right, what else have you got, Katie? All right, my friends, if you haven't made a comment, Katie's getting ready to draw a winner right now. So you definitely want to get on board, make your comments, and Katie's going to spin her little wheel of wonder and pick a winner. Okay, so Tuesday night, we'll be here next Tuesday night as well. Not sure what we're talking about next Tuesday. Definitely mark your calendars for March 31st, though, because that's launch day. So we're going to have the 1.5 inch boxes, the 4 inch boxes, and the Chastity Zip and Go bag will all be released on March 31st. We'll be talking all about those. That's 2 weeks from tonight, but I will be here next week as well. So get your questions ready. Again, if you think of something in the middle of the week and you want to shoot off a question, you can send it to Barb, B-A-R-B, at theorganizedoption.com, and just put Tuesday night question in the subject line, and she will get those questions to me, and we'll try to answer them either directly to you or during Tuesday Night Live next week or whatever week you send it in. All right, Katie, who's our winner? Lauren Green, you are the winner on St. Patrick's Day. How appropriate. Lauren Green, you need to reach out to Barb, B-A-R-B, at the Organized Option and let her know that, hey, not only am I the winner, my last name is Green, and it was St. Patrick's Day. Double lucky. I got my lucky bracelet on today. Congratulations, Lauren Green. We will get you a gift certificate, but you need to reach out to Barb. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. It was great to have you. I hope you'll join us again next week. Tell a friend, bring a friend, grab a glass of wine or a cup of coffee. Join us Tuesday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.